Hey, how are you? This is Nomad. So I'm just giving an update on my current situation. So basically, oh God, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I maybe repeating myself. I don't remember what I said in the last video. So basically, my current situation is that I'm house sharing with a woman. We're renting a bedroom from her in a townhouse, and it's really nice. It's a nice townhouse. It's in San Pedro, California, near Long Beach, and it's in this kind of, I call it retirement community. I mean, it's a lot of townhouses in this giant townhouse community. There's lots of gardens and tennis courts and all this kind of thing, and I got a really good deal for it. Basically, because the rents in San Pedro are much cheaper than LA. So basically, I'm paying like 1,000 a month for this room, and for LA, that's a good price, believe it or not. And the fact that it's five of us in that room, is still a good deal. So it started out as an Airbnb, and then we basically worked out a longer term arrangement that was basically kind of month to month. So anyway, and then it has like an attached attic area, and so we get to use that as well. So it's really like two rooms, a big room and a smaller room for the price, for $1,000. Then I have to pay $1,200 a month in utilities, which I offered. I didn't have to do that, but I knew we took up a lot of utilities, so I offered that. And so that we've been doing that for about 4 months. But it's time to move on. So, for both of us. So basically, she wants to get some more permanent renters. She offered us that opportunity, to rent another room for like $1,400 a month, and plus utilities. And of course it's tempting, right? Like you just think, uh, oh yeah, then I could live a quote unquote normal life. I could settle down and blah 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 and join the rat race. And it's tempting, especially when you have a family. You just kind of want to live that white picket fence fantasy, American fantasy, right? That says you're a normal, legitimate person in society. Set down some roots, blah blah blah. It was tempting, but I'm self-employed, and like, my income goes up and down. It's sort of what's that phrase? I don't remember the phrase, but I'll have like a lot of money and then no money, depending on my payments from my clients and whatever. So having time payments can get kind of stressful, unless I have a savings, which I don't really have much of a savings right now. So I just so basically the point is that we're going to have to move in about a week. I've known this for about, I had a 30-day notice on that. There is a chance I could keep renting if I wanted to, but honestly, I'm tempted to do that. Like, I'm not really in a position that I want to be in, the perfect place, so I'm tempted to keep renting. But I think I'm gonna just call it a day and go. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, so basically, when I first started this arrangement, I was paying $250 a week. I probably could continue doing that, maybe. I'm not sure. But, I just keep thinking about the fact that it's like freaking, with the utilities, that's like $1,200 a month. And now she's saying, oh, we're using more utilities than she thought, so I probably have to pay really $300 towards utilities, which is crazy. But, I just keep thinking, man, that's $1,300, and it's like, I've been doing this for about going on 5 months, and I don't really have anything to show for it. I mean, I feel good. It's a nice neighborhood. I get to, get up and take a nice shower. There's a kitchen. I mean, we get to use the house. I can work there. But I don't have a car. It's like, I don't know. It's, if this was the right strategy, then being comfortable for 5 months and getting on our feet, I should have something to show for it. And I don't really. I don't. So, and I don't like the stress of worrying about the rent all the time. I mean, I didn't realize how much it was affecting me. Like, it just puts me in this time pressure situation. Like, subconsciously you just start thinking in terms of time. Oh, I got to do this by this time. I got to get this money by this time. I mean, and things happen naturally. I can't force the universe to give me a client at a certain time. I mean, I can advertise all I want, but I can't make it happen. If the rent's due in a week and I don't have the money, it's like I can't make that happen. Like, I don't know. Some clients don't pay. Some jobs die. I don't. It's just unpredictable. And of course, the landlords want you to have a good, steady income for them, right? So I'm supposed to change my whole career path so I can pay landlords so they can feel secure, so I can feel secure in having a roof over my head. And I just don't buy it anymore. I'm just done. I'm totally done with that whole paradigm. Don't even mention the word rent to me anymore. Like, I'm just not going to rent. And so I made the decision to basically leave on the 1st. And it's kind of crazy because I don't have a lot of money right now. Like, I just one of the jobs I had ended, so I don't have a ton of money right now. I'm kind of between jobs, and so I'm only going to have like $500 or so at the end of the month. I could maybe keep renting this place. I haven't even proposed that to her. But I don't want to do it because so here's what we're going to do. We're going to basically go back to trying to get a car and live out of a car. So here's the plan. So I was researching RVs and I found a really good RV. It's a Tioga Aero, Fleetwood Tioga Aero, and it's I think 1988 or 1989, 33 feet. I can't remember. It's 27 or 33 feet. I think it's 33 feet, but it's perfect for us. Like, I'm like, that'll work. It's nice enough for us. It's big enough for us. It can sleep 8 people. Everything works. So I've kind of identified that target model year and that model as the ideal of what I need to aim for. So the only catch is it's $5,000, give or take 1,000. Some are 6, some are 5. We're talking 87 through 91 model years. So that's my goal, to get one of those RVs. The problem is I don't have $5,000 right now. I am expecting to get some money in a couple months. I also might pick up some big contracts in the next couple months. I don't know. So here's the thing, like, we have to survive to that time, till when I can get 5,000. So I'm thinking 2 months. And so what I'm thinking is, when I get this 500 at the end of the month, in about a week from now, I'm going to go and buy a car. The biggest car that runs that I can get for $500. As long as the engine runs, brakes, transmission, I can drive it. It's, it passes the inspection and all that. And I've been looking and I saw a couple cars like that. I saw a Volvo station wagon, blah, blah, blah. I saw some Suburbans, stuff like that. Now, these are obviously going to be kind of junky cars, but my goal with this is that, I want something that we can sleep in, that we can put our stuff in or put our stuff on the roof or whatever. And so that's my plan. I've talked to my wife about it. She's kind of, I don't know about that plan. So my mother-in-law has an apartment, and we're allowed to stay there 6 days out of the month. And so what I'm thinking is, like, we can basically sleep out of the car, and then maybe once a week go and like kind of refresh at my mother-in-law's. I can store all my stuff at my mother-in-law's. I don't have a lot of stuff right now. I have, imagine like a bedroom full of stuff, no furniture, just clothes and things like that. So a lot of my stuff is still at my mother-in-law's. So the plan is, end of the month, I'm going to go and buy something for $500. I'm going to get the best thing I can get. And then we're going to move all my stuff with that car to my mother-in-law's. And then we're going to basically sleep out of that car. I know some good spots. I'll talk about that later. I just kind of wanted to give you an update on where I'm at right now, because I'm about to make this big move, and it's scary. It's kind of scary. I mean, it's not really scary for me. It's more scary about my family and the way they're going to react. Although we've done this before. I mean, not for extended periods of time, but we've slept out of our car because we had to, for various reasons. And so yeah, my kids are they're all older teens now, and they don't want to do this either, but that's what I'm planning to do. And uh, I don't know what my landlord's, I have a feeling she's going to try to get me to stay and pay 250 a week or 300 a week. But like I said, I just keep thinking, like, I keep, that'd be at the end of the month about $1,300. And it's like, if we can just hunker down, I'm sorry, I don't like that word. If we can just sort of, what's the word? Rough it. That's the word. Rough it, meaning not be so comfortable, or get comfortable being not comfortable for about 2 months, then I should be able to save enough to get that RV. So that's what the plan is. And, I'm just going to do this. And no, it's not 100%. This is what I'm intending to do. It could change, of course, but I put a lot of thought into it. So I've pretty much decided this is what I want to do. So it's just a matter of getting my family on board at this point. Of course, it's also a function of getting a car for $500 that runs and that can hold all of us. I'm going to call some tow yards. I heard that tow yards are good places to get really cheap deals. And on Craigslist, I've seen some deals like this Volvo looked like it was at a tow yard because it was a pretty good deal for a Volvo. I don't even know if it's probably not even there anymore. But so what could go wrong? A lot could go wrong. I guess the worst case scenario is that the first comes and I don't have the money for some reason. That's possible. The future is unknown. Who knows? But either if I don't have the money on the first, I can still move to my mother-in-law's. I'm pretty sure. That's not guaranteed either. I'm pretty sure though I can stay there. But again, nothing's for sure certain. But I guess my worst fear is that I won't be able to get a decent car for $500 that's drivable. And so my backup plan in that case is we're just going to do the tent in the park thing. I know that sounds really radical, but it's not much different than a car, really. I know a really good spot in the Park La Brea area of LA, and it's near shopping centers. There's a storage place, there's a pool with showers, there's a nice park and a library. I mean, if you were gonna rough it in the city living out of a tent, that's the spot to do it. Maybe one day I will reveal the location of this spot. I was thinking of doing a series about like the best spots for urban nomads in Los Angeles. I might still do that. But so that's my worst case scenario. My worst case, this is going to sound radical, but it is radical. My worst case scenario is we don't have a car. There's a storage unit over there. We can store our stuff there. And then at the end of every day, we just basically get our stuff out of storage, set up a tent, sleep in it. In the day, when we get up, we take the tent down, or we just hang out in the park, put it back in the storage like that, until I can get a car. So hopefully it won't come to that. But if it does, then that's what we're going to do. My family is definitely not going to like that idea. So I don't know what's going to happen. But I tell you one thing, I am done with this rent thing. As much, I am like beyond done. And I'm beyond done with like, the landlord gets paid first. I have to run a rat race, work double time so I can support the landlord. And hopefully after the landlord gets paid, because, the holy grail is that having a place to sleep, right? Oh my God, if I don't have a place to sleep, it's like the end of the world. So I better give them half my money. So it's like, anyway, I'm just done with that. It's like, we need to get paid first. We need to build up something. We need to build up some assets. And if we have to rough it, if we have to like camp in the park or sleep in our car or find some junky RV to fix up, to sleep, then to get to that place, then that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to do it. I mean, my family, they might freak out, but I think they'll come around in time because, for about 3 years here in LA, I've been doing this rent thing thinking, oh, I'll get ahead if I just work hard enough. It's not working because I'm just treading water, right? And I'm sick of being stressed about rent all the time to these people, all these people who control a space. A lot of them don't own the space. In LA, space is so valuable. Like if you just control a space, then you can rent it out on Airbnb. You can do short-term rental. I mean, you can do everything just by having a lease or or just having, like, I knew a lady that was house sitting and then she Airbnb'd. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know? And I'm on the tail end of this. Why? Because I don't have any money, right? And then whatever little money I have, it has to go to these people, right? I mean, it's dumb. And, you know, I just read this article that I'm going to do a post on about, like, it was something like 10 ways to increase your net worth or something like that. And it had a lot of really good points. But one of the points was like to basically rent a house and then re-rent the rooms out, or buy a house with 4 rooms. You live in one and you rent the other 3 rooms out. And the guy was like, yeah, I did this and I made so much money and I increased my net worth by blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, so basically I've been on the other end of that, right? I'm the guinea pig, the cow teat that's being sucked on to help fund these other people's net worth experiences. And I'm just like, I am done being a cow teat, honestly. So, yeah, so I just want to give you that update because it might get a little rough. And, you know, in many ways, honestly, I think it's mostly mental. Some mental belief and fear of the unknown, you know, all the stigma around. You know, I'm going to say it one more time, and then I'm not going to say it anymore. The stigma around being homeless, right? But I'm done with that word. Like, I don't even think there's such a thing anymore. Homeless is like, what? It's over. There's no more homelessness. Like, there's really no excuse to be quote unquote victim homelessness where it's like, oh my God, I don't have any place to live. What am I going to do? And don't get me wrong, I do feel sorry, or I feel for people that find themselves in that situation. I get it. I've been in that situation. I understand what it's like. It's scary, blah, 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 blah. But after going on this nomadic journey, what I've learned is that, like, it's all in your head. There really is no such thing as homeless. You're just choosing to live a different way. And there's a lot of different ways to live other than in a traditional rental or buying situation. So, I mean, when you're in that transition and you don't know that, it's very scary. But so from now on, you're not going to hear me say the word homeless because I don't believe there is such a thing anymore. Now, people who have mental illness or they have substance abuse issues and they're just walking the streets and they're talking to themselves and they have problems like that, that's really a different issue. It's not like, I mean, they're quote unquote homeless because they can't function, but these people, they can't function anyway. So it's not even about their homeless state. It's about dealing with their substance abuse or dealing with their mental illness. Anyway, so I'm not going to mention anymore. I mean, you guys can call it that. You can say I'm in denial, whatever. But I'm just personally not going to use that word anymore. So we're done on that. Okay. So basically, yeah, that's the plan. Backup plan is live out of a tent in a park, urban camping. Second plan, well, first plan is get a car, some cheap car, live out of the car for 2 months, and then buy this Tioga Aero RV for $5,000. And then my plan is to buy a boat, and then my plan is to buy some land and build something on some land. I'll do videos on all that later, so I just want to give you an update on what's happening. I did another video like this almost a year ago. I think it's called "So Fed Up with Rent, I'm Going to Live in a Tent in the Park" or something like that. And it's about a year and a half later, and I'm right back in the situation, out of several $1,000s in rent because I guess I wasn't ready. And man, it would have been so nice if I had the ugly green thing right now. I keep thinking like, just it would have taken the edge off. And that was the reason I wanted the ugly green thing, is I wanted something to take the edge off. And as ugly as the ugly green thing was, it would have allowed us to sleep. It had enough room to sleep 5 people. Had a kitchen in there. Even without the kitchen, if it just ran and it allowed you to sleep, like, that would have helped take the edge off. My wife hated that thing though. She's like, oh, it's so junky and ugly. It's like, what is with people in this? Like, why does everything have to look freaking nice all things? For us to live, like, everything doesn't have to look like a freaking IKEA magazine. You know what I mean? Like, that mentality is what gets us in trouble. It's like, oh, I have to live the middle class life, or I have to look like a rich person, or I have to have this status symbol, and I have to have all these nice things and all this BS. I mean, sure. I mean, live as nice as you can live, but not to the point where you're a debtor, slave, wage slave, wage slave person. It's like, where you're in all this credit card debt and you're paying all this money to rent to live this lifestyle so you can feel good about yourself. And I'm as guilty of that as ever. I mean, bless my mom's soul. But one problem was that she was kind of a consumer. She had a consumer mentality, and I picked that up from her. I mean, she started to get into real estate and trying to create wealth, but she really just didn't know how. And she spent so much time, I feel like, trying to make us live the way she thought we needed to live to be quote unquote acceptable in society. And that's fine, you should do that, but I just feel like, dang, there's so many. Now that I know what I know, it's like we could have been a lot smarter about it, but whatever. But don't get me wrong, my mom was an awesome person and she did a lot to help me. She raised us well, so don't get me wrong on that. But I just feel like that's where I learned a lot of these patterns that I'm trying to break. So yeah, so that's the plan. I will give you another update soon, but I just kind of wanted to orient you on this new adventure we're going to go on. And of course, like I said, I have to talk to my wife. I mean, I've been talking to my wife about it, but I have to, it's one thing to talk to your wife about it. It's another thing of, okay, honey, today we're actually going to go live in the park. I mean, we'll see how that goes. But okay, so that's it. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments, and I'll keep you updated. All right, talk to you soon.